closing up programs that are Democrat programs that we wanted to close up or that we never wanted to happen, and now we're closing them up. And we're not going to let them come back.
All right, let's get off the sidelines, head into the arena. Our chief congressional correspondent, Manu Raju, is on Capitol Hill. And Manu, you asked the minority leader about putting a new offer on the table as we head into this 14th day. What's the mood like right now?
In my opinion, the Democrats are fully at fault here. There's no doubt about it. Manu's a little bit more fence sitter when it comes to that, but he at least does do a great job of letting us understand what both sides are saying. For now, let's go ahead and check Manu's take out.
It's very grim, and there's a real belief that this shutdown could extend for weeks longer and could very well be the longest shutdown in American history. The longest one, of course, went from 2018 to 2019, lasted 35 days. How long this will go is a major concern here on the Hill, because both sides say that the ball is in the other side's court. You have Republicans saying pass the short-term spending bill to keep the government open, reopen the government until November 21st. Democrats are planning to block that for the 8th time in the United States Senate tonight because they want an extension of those expiring Obamacare subsidies in particular as part of this plan. Now, the Democrats have their own proposal that they have put out there that Republicans have blocked time and again. It deals with a wide range of healthcare issues. But the question ultimately is, what will change the dynamic? That's the question I did put to Leader Jeffries. I asked him, what are you planning to do to jumpstart negotiations here? And will you put something new on the table to get Republicans to your side? And he indicated at the moment he is not. Republicans have rejected the Democratic CR that includes all of your demands there. So why not come up with a new approach? So put a new offer on the table to try to jumpstart something rather than dig into your position.
We're open to sitting down anytime, any place with anyone in terms of our Republican colleagues, either here at the Capitol.
But why not put a new offer on the
either
table?
here at the Capitol or back in the Oval Office to have a conversation about finding a bipartisan path forward. But there has to be a willingness amongst Republicans to actually have a conversation.
And then earlier today, I asked the speaker that himself, why not change your strategy? Because you're going out there every single day bashing Democrats, saying that they need to accept their bill. Democrats aren't budging. Why not at least sit down and talk? And he said there's nothing to negotiate. He said this is the bill. They need to pass the bill. He said he's not going to play Chuck Schumer, the Senate Democratic leader's quote-unquote game. So that's where things stand. Unlike past shutdowns where there could be around-the-clock negotiations, they're working through the weekend trying to potentially find a solution to avert this damaging crisis. There are no negotiations, no talks. The House is out of session yet again, and the Speaker has no plans to bring the House back into session until the Senate Democrats agree to their plan. Senate Democrats say they don't plan to agree to that. So just a lot of questions and concerns that this very damaging crisis could drag on for quite some time.
Manu did a great job there breaking it down, but I do think he did one disservice to his viewers, and that was not placing any blame at all on either party. Like I said, he's a fence sitter. He's very good at what he does, but Manu didn't even describe the things that the Democrats want to insert into this CR that is making the Republicans not want to work with them. So, there was a mandate in 2024. There was a mandate for the Republicans, for Trump, and for Republican policies. So we have to understand that when the Democrats are trying to push through certain policies that will further benefit the people that came here illegally, Republican politicians are going to avoid it like it's the plague. They aren't going to vote for anything that is in further support of a welfare state that takes care of illegal immigrants. And that is exactly what the Democrats are doing right now. So let's go ahead and see what the Republicans are saying about this bill and exactly what their qualms are. There's 5 big points in particular. What you're seeing right here is a letter from the Republican Study Committee, and they give 5 very important reasons as to why the Democrat CR is completely wrong for our country right now, especially considering the mandate in 2024 for the Republicans. Let's break down the 5 reasons that Republicans are really against this continued resolution by the Democrats. To be fair, some of these spill into each other, so I'll go ahead and explain that, but these are the 5 reasons right here. $1.5 trillion in new spending. And this would include the Medicaid benefits that would be given to illegals and working age adults that are receiving Medicaid benefits in America. I'll break down the 1.5 trillion here so you can at least see what is included within that number. And more or less, it designates certain funds for emergencies that were reversed via a Trump decision. It extends the period of availability for pocket rescinded funds. I don't even know what that means. Increases funding level for the WIC, U.S. Marshal Protective Security, U.S. Marshals Construction, OMB Inspector General, Supreme Court Protective Security, Court Security, Indian Health Services, Corporation for Public Broadcasting. So that's additional funding for PBS that was taken away when the Big Beautiful Bill passed. That's reinstating those dollars. Definitely don't want that. Payments to heirs of the late reps Sylvester Turner, Raul Grijalva, and Jerry Connolly. Like, what? Legislative branch security increases waste, fraud, and abuse by repealing health provisions from the One Big Beautiful Bill, and it permanently extends Biden's COVID credits. So those last two are probably the most important. 1,058 billions. So pretty much the entirety of the 1.5 trillion can be found in that one repealing of the health provisions from the One Big Beautiful Bill. That's where this issue is coming from. The Democrats are trying to give back health provisions to illegal immigrants and working age adults who are only working part-time. These were the biggest issues during the Big Beautiful Bill, and they passed that then. So what's the point of them not passing this now? So more or less, it's all of this that is broken down by the Republican Study Committee here, explaining that Medicaid benefits would be reinstated for 1.2 million illegal immigrants, that hundreds of millions of dollars would be given back to left-wing media organizations like NPR and PBS. And then there was all those crazy organizations within our government that Doge found that we were just funneling money into, billions of dollars to cross-dressers in Nicaragua. Like, it's insane. And then you have this right here explaining that this would reverse the Trump administration's rescissions of some of these dollars, and instead forced him to pay $4 million in funding for global LGBTQIA awareness campaigns, $3.9 million for pretty much the same thing, but in the Western Balkans, $2.3 million for desert locust risk reduction in the Horn of Africa, $2 million for the organizing of feminist democratic principles in Africa. I mean, this is no joke, guys. Like, they want our tax dollars to go to these insane causes that will not help us domestically, that will not help the American. It's going to help the LGBTQIA plus community in the Western Balkans and desert locust risk reduction in the Horn of Africa. Number 5 here explains that it eliminates President Trump's constitutional authority to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse in government spending. And it says, for centuries, presidents have had the authority to impound and rescind wasteful funding. The Democrat CR includes provisions that would gut the president's authority under the Impoundment Control Act, making it virtually impossible for President Trump to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. Democrats want to remove presidential tools to curb spending addiction just when Americans are demanding fiscal responsibility. It's true. It's totally true. The Democrats want to push the exact same policies that they were pushing during the election, during Obama's administration. They're pushing all of this radical stuff at the last minute, and they're trying to make it seem like it's the Republicans' fault, when clearly this is the Democrats and their extreme policies trying to be pushed at the last minute that's causing this government shutdown. Historically, when this has happened, it's only lasted up to 35 days at the most, because the two sides are actually working together. They're going back and forth. They're staying overnight on the Hill to try to figure out what's best for the country. The Democrats are screwed here, in my opinion. I think they're trying to play the long game, but it's going to really, really hurt them in the long run. On the panel, we had Peter Meyer here. He was a former Michigan congressman on the Republican side. This guy lays it down, absolutely spills the truth. I love it. We're going to watch his clip here. Let me know what you think about it down below. I think he really kills it.
But do you think at the end of the day, Republicans are going to have to cave on this? I mean, do you see the politics of this the way the rest do?
I mean, I agree that I don't think this is good for the Democrats. I mean, you have Donald Trump negotiating Mideast peace and flying to Egypt to oversee an agreement between Hamas and Israel, and meanwhile, Chuck Schumer is parading around the Senate, trying to stage a photo op. I mean, the split screen between actual governance of the Trump administration and just a Senate Democrats trying to figure out their message, right? Senator Van Hollen pointed out, or he called the expiring Obamacare subsidies a ticking time bomb that Republicans planted. They were introduced in ARPA, the American Rescue Plan, in 2021. I know, I was in Congress. We all voted against it on the Republican side. That was a Democrat budget reconciliation bill. It got to the Senate, and it needed 50 Senate votes. They talked about making it permanent, could not get unified Democratic support to make it permanent. It came up again in the Inflation Reduction Act. They kicked a can down the road. Again, solely Democrats voting in support of this could not get Democrats to agree to make these permanent. And now somehow, years later, it's the Republicans that are the sticking point. You were right in March, sir. Chuck Schumer should just continue to reopen the government. And right now, Donald Trump is having to take tariff revenue to support food stamp and WIC programs. He's reallocating budgets within DOD so that troops are getting paid. He's actually doing work, and Democrats are still figuring out their message.
Thanks for watching this episode. To me, it's clear the Democrats are on the wrong side of history here. They're just trying to push their radical policies, and they know that none of them are going to get through the Republicans, so they can play off as if the Republicans are being stubborn and they're just trying to do their best for the American people. But really, they're trying to do their best for illegal immigrants and lazy adults that don't want to work full-time jobs. So let's see what happens. Hopefully this is all completed by the end of the month. Let me know what you think down below. This is Aaron West. Have a great night. Bye.